7:40 on this Friday. Good morning to our buddy Chris. Chris from August Roofing and Solar. Happy Friday to you there, Chris.
Yeah, happy Friday to you too. And William Shatner, he's lives in my neighborhood actually, kind of. Well, not in the. He lives in Moore Park, so we see him quite a bit in a local restaurant.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, no.
I used to love him on the show Boston Legal. He was Denny Crane, and he played just a wackadoodle lawyer. It was awesome. All right. Well, hey, what a fun fact from Chris this morning from August Roofing and Solar. Chris, did you have a nice 4-day work week? We had Monday off. Did you have Monday off?
Yes, we had Monday off, and I actually, last week I was on vacation, so I timed that out pretty good, huh? Come back from vacation on Sunday and get a day off.
Yeah. You got a little bonus there. Very nice. Nicely done, Chris. But I might say you're probably very busy. So you timed out vacation well. I'm going to assume you're busy after the tropical storm we got a couple weeks back. I'm sure people are just now probably finding some leaks and some things that might be in need of repair. How's that going?
Yeah, our leads tripled the first week after Hillary, and they're still double the second week. So yeah, it really goes crazy because that's when you find out the problems you have is when it rains right on a roof.
So what are you seeing? What are you seeing the most of?
Well, there's a lot of tile roofs, which Santa Clarita has quite a few of, and when the kind of rain we had was like literally, at least at my house, it seemed like it rained for like 24 hours straight. Nice, steady, nothing crazy. But once you build up that kind of rain volume, it's like I've talked about in the past. Leaks are like rivers. And so sometimes leaks are happening, but there's not a long enough time of rain for that leak to find the end of its river into your house. So that's where we're seeing a lot of tile leaks, which are, come up a lot in prolonged rains.
Are tile leaks, as you call them, are they easy to fix?
Well, the same sort of thing. They're a little bit different in the sense that the tile actually is still good. There's nothing wrong with it. The real waterproofing in a tile roof is the underlayment and sheet metal system that's underneath the tile. The tile is really there to keep the sun from baking and burning out the underlayment. The underlayment's there to shed the water. Now, yes, the tile does shed water, but that's not its purpose in the system of a tile roof. So a lot of tile roofs look beautiful, like, hey, man, there's nothing wrong with my roof. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's a leak inside my house. And that's because the underlayment has finally gone bad. And, that's, 20, 25 years, depends on the grade your builder used, how long the underlayment actually sat out in the sun before the guys installed the tiles on it. There's a number of factors that can accelerate or make it last a little bit longer. So it's a little different than an asphalt shingle roof. Asphalt shingle roofs are pretty, every 25 years. Tile roofs, we can see the range from 20 to 40, depending on how well the underlayment was done originally.
So how do you fix something like that?
Well, that's a cool part. What we call them is resets. You basically pick up the tile, put new underlayment underneath there, new sheet metal system, put it all back together. And yes, we do break some tiles, usually about around 10%. We add some extra tiles to the roof and we put it back together.
And is that a very costly situation? Does insurance cover that? What are we looking at?
Yeah, no, insurance, unfortunately, in California, insurance doesn't cover very much at all. It's got to be like a tree branch is going to fall on your roof or a hailstorm. There's got to be some sort of Mother Nature act that has affected your roof. So there's out in California, not much insurance. Now, I go to Colorado. I got a buddy out there who owns a roofing company. He did all last year. He had only 2 customers actually pay for roofs. All the rest of his roofs are paid by insurance companies. So it's completely different ball game out there. It was all hail work.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
So anyways, roofing is expensive. I'm sorry to say that, but the tile resets, even though we are reusing some of the existing material, it's still labor intensive, and labor and insurance for most roofing jobs are a huge piece of the job. And so that doesn't go away. It still takes about the same amount of time for a man to do 100 square feet of roof, whether it's shingle or a tile reset.
Do you have to, when you do this tile reset, because honestly, I've been listening to you for the last, 3-4 months, and I'm trying to take all the information in, and tile reset seems like a new phrase for me, unless I wasn't paying attention, and that's quite possible. But tile reset, does that mean you have to do the entire roof over, or just the part where it's leaking?
No, you can do sections. And that's what came up a lot this week. Is everybody's like, "Oh, just do this section." The thing that a customer has to take into account, and this is with any roofing or any construction project where you're fixing your home. I totally get it. I own a home. I have to do things, and they're expensive. But you really have to sit down and look at, would it be better to do the whole thing? Because a repair, if you want to look at it on a per square foot price, is actually more costly on a per square foot price. So if you went ahead and did your whole roof now, because when a tile roof, when you're doing a reset, that underlayment is going bad. It's not a matter of if you're going to have to do this, it's a matter of when, right? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes people are like, yeah, just do that. But because it's a smaller section, the permits costs are pretty much the same. Our setup costs are pretty much the same. Some of those costs are built in, whether I do 5 squares or 50 squares. And that squares are the size of the roof. Squares is 100 square feet, just for anybody that might not know. So some of that cost, it's not a value. It doesn't add value to your home. So, and the two things that you can count on in roofing is the roof is only going to get worse and worse, and the costs are only going to go up and up. So, especially with the inflation that we've seen in the roofing industry, and the poor returns that we can get on our money out there, sometimes it might be a better investment, even though you're like, man, I don't want to re-roof my house. It might be a better investment to re-roof your house today, because in 3 years it'll be 10% more. Yeah. You'd actually made a ton of money, right?
Exactly. Sometimes, Chris, you understand. Sometimes when we see that estimate, and it's just sticker shock. And the unfortunate thing is we need a literal roof over our heads, right? But when we don't see it, it's not a bright, shiny new TV that we would watch every night. It's really hard for consumers to justify it in such a way. And so I think that's why we kind of gravitate to just fix this little piece here. But overall, you're right. And we should start listening to the experts. Honestly, we should start listening to people like Chris, who have been in the business for so incredibly long, and they just know what's going on. Chris, always a pleasure talking to you. I always learn something every single week. We'll see you next week. If someone needs to get in touch with you, and they have one of these leaks and they need a tile reset, listen to me go, Chris, and they need a tile reset, how do they get in touch with you?
It's augustroofing.com is a great way to get a hold of us, or we are on Surrey, so you can just say, hey, Surrey, call August Roofing.
And there you go.
Call August Roofing.
And then that's it. And then you get Chris or his colleagues. Chris, have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.